That was She's So Lovely by Scouting for Girls. The second track off of our album of the week today, the self-titled album by Scouting for Girls. So just to give a little background, it was their first studio album, dropped in 2007. It peaked at number 1 in the UK charts and remained number 1 for 2 weeks.
Number 1.
Yeah,
number 1.
Yeah.
I didn't. Fair. I'm very surprised. I knew it was like. I knew that obviously there's some hit songs off this album, but I didn't expect that to be a number 1 album.
Yeah,
That's really surprised me. That
I think it stayed at number 1 the same amount of time as OK Computer did we reviewed last week.
No way.
I'll have to confirm that in the break, but that is a crazy thing to ponder on.
That's like fair play to them though.
Yeah,
well, like, fair play to them.
It shows how great of an album it is, I guess. This next one's gonna blow your mind even more. So, it's the 10th biggest selling album of 2008. After it spent 60 weeks in the charts.
I can't believe that, to be fair.
That's quite good.
That's very good, actually.
Just less than 1 million copies were sold as of 2015, so more than 1 million have sold now, more than likely.
Probably, yeah.
Also,
you got to take into consideration probably the amount of people that streamed it, like us, for the last week or so.
Yeah. So the band members knew each other from childhood. They're from West London. And the best way I describe this album is just basically a love album. It's an album full of love songs. Yeah, and songs about love.
I think with this album, there's a bonus track here that I'll save it for when we talk about it. But it frustrates me, but not in the way that you probably think.
Okay,
not in the way that you think. But all I'll say is there's a bonus track on here that I technically don't count as part of the album because it's like a hidden track. And it's not on all pressings of the album, but it frustrates me. Okay, that's all I'll say. We'll get to that.
We'll go into the first track. Keep on Walking.
The intro's pretty cool, but it the piano on this is pretty cool. It's what I put on in my notes. One of the tracks I'm not offended by.
Yeah. So I put it's just a bit of a nothing song. Like, it's just, like I never want to put this song on. Like there's never
there's not many. I think there's not many of these songs that I'm going to go back to, if I'm being honest.
I mean, the next one.
The next one, yeah. This nostalgia tune for everyone who grew up in the mid 2000s.
Yeah,
like it was just everywhere, wasn't it? And it's still everywhere to an extent. Like as I was saying while the song was playing to run, it's a Milk It Monday tune.
Oh, big Milk It.
It's Monday a big tune. Milk It Monday tune.
I've written down here certified banger. I feel like it's a good way to describe that song.
Yeah, catchy was one of the words I used.
Yeah. I don't know if you really looked into like actually the lyrics about it, and I think
not this one in particular.
I think out of all of the songs on there, I'm just trying to think down. It's one of the more interesting stories I think out of all of them. It's about two lovers. One of them's 30. One of them is the guy singing, who I assume is in his 20s, and he's saying about how he wants to be with this woman, but she's got a husband or a boyfriend, whatever, and he can't get with her, and he's basically just being used as a bit of a toy boy kind of thing, and
okay,
it's interesting.
If thing is, if that's like the sort of the peak storytelling of the album, I think do you know what I mean?
It kind of shows what the rest of the album.
This is not a lyric album.
No, definitely not.
In comparison to something like OK Computer, it's just
Okay, so next one is It's Not About You.
One word: boring.
You find
so
it
boring? It honestly, I when I was listening to it, I was like, oh my god, is this song like 6 minutes? It's only like 4 minutes, and this is the problem I have with a lot of the songs on the album. Yeah. All the songs that are 4 minutes and over feel so long.
Yeah, like, see, that one's 4 minutes and 12 seconds.
Like Scouting for Girls are a 2-3 minute song band. Like their style of songs doesn't work beyond the 3 minute mark. Once you hit 4 minutes, for me, they get so tedious and boring.
Yeah, see,
there's just nothing going on in this song. I don't think it's just it's so bland.
Yeah. No, I don't dislike this song, to be honest, but something I do need to disclose is I used to have this album when I was younger, and I think I was about 8 when I got it. I've done the maths when it came out.
That's
about 8 or 9.
That would be about right. I think.
About 8 or 9, I would have been, and so I have a bit of sentimental value to some of these songs. Not this one in particular, but I just remember I used to listen to music while going to sleep, and I remember listening to this album front to back, like going to sleep and stuff. So, but yeah, I don't hate that song. But
it might be contender for worst song on the album because just out of and this is the problem I had with the album as well. Like lyrically, it's just so like nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's so boring. And I think there are other songs where I'm like, I wish Scouting for Girls did stuff more like this.
Okay,
they're like, it's. I guess it's one that's like, for what it is. I just don't really. A lot of the stuff like this in particular is just really boring.
See, for me, the worst track on the album is this next one, the Aeroplane song.
See, I'm quite fond of this one. I don't no because of how rubbish it is. That for me it's almost so bad it's good because literally it's got a really nice intro. I'm like, oh yeah, this could be a banger. And literally I quoted the opening line because it made me laugh so hard when she's a strawberry milkshake. Literally, I was like, because I found it so funny because I was getting really into the intro. I was like, oh, this could be like the best song off the album. It started off so well, and it's just like, she's a strawberry milkshake, and I just started laughing so hard. Like, I was just like, that is my favourite line off the album. Just because, like, it's just so
I think it does sum up the album quite well, to be fair. Like, I think at times this album, the actual, like, instrumentation side of it is quite, I wouldn't say, like, it's not like good in like an OK Computer, Radiohead or Beatles type of way, but it's catchy. There's catchy songs in here.
Yeah.
But the lyrics, like, this is what I mean. Like, the whole concept of this song is that you want to go on holiday.
This one was too long.
Yeah,
too long.
Definitely. It's
way too long.
4 minutes and 20 seconds, and
can't be having that.
It shouldn't even be 4 minutes.
No,
it should be 20 seconds long.
I'd argue this should be like a 2 minute job, 2-minute 59 job.
Next song, Heartbeat.
It's slightly catchy. Like, I get why they released it as a single, but like, I just love as well how like the song like is front and back ended with just the heartbeat sound effect.
Is it? I literally haven't noticed
like, boom, boom, boom. It's just like, oh, like, just it's like, oh, we need to have like, just sort of like, oh, we need to chuck something on it. Like, it just seems very lazy as well.
Judging that it's probably one of the more popular ones on there.
I'm
just not a fan of it. I don't really see.
No, I was expecting to really get into this one. I thought, oh, maybe I've heard this one before, and I hadn't. I hadn't heard this one before, and it's just not very good. Yeah. It's just a bit boring.
So then the sixth track, so midway through the album, pretty much, or just over, is Elvis Ain't Dead, which for another tune.
Best song off the album.
Best song. Okay.
But it is the best one.
It's top 3 for me. It's not. It's. I'd say it's second for me. Say it's second. We'll get to what's first later.
Yeah. Sure.
But it's quite sad, really. It's quite like, and when you look at the lyrics of this, it is just a bit sad. Like,
yeah, I like as well at the end of the song you take an actual sort of like audio bite from Elvis, because he used to say like, and it says like, oh, Elvis Presley has left the building. Yeah, that's something that he would say like a lot of concerts from what I looked up. So that's cool as well. Like, it's a cool like. See, again, this is kind of what I would like Scouting Girls to do. Sort of more sort of like. Songs with a bit more sort of like humour in them, and using the phrase like Elvis Ain't Dead, because all the sort of love songs they go for the most part just don't really hit the mark. Because I think these songs like that are a bit more like wacky, they work better. I think that's the kind of direction Scouting for Girls should have gone for this album.
It feels like they take themselves too seriously at points.
Yeah, well, if you have more light-hearted songs like this, I think this would be a much funner album. But it's just you get all these nothing love songs that like it doesn't really do anything for me.
But just to give you guys a break from us talking, we'll give Elvis Ain't Dead a little spin for you guys. You're listening to Rockin' Radio.
So Elvis has left the building, but Mark Murphy and Ryan Gladwin have re-entered the building. You're listening to Rockin' Radio with Mark Murphy and Ryan Gladwin, only on Rebel Essex. So if you've just joined us, we're in the middle of reviewing Scouting for Girls' debut album. So we've talked briefly about Elvis Ain't Dead just before we played it, but we just want to quickly as well talk about if you were one of the rich people to buy the deluxe edition of this album, you were treated to this song but in a Christmas edition. Ryan, do you want to describe a bit the Christmas edition of Elvis Ain't Dead, and maybe your opinions as well?
It was just, from listening to the track, it's just incredibly low effort. Like,
it is. The thing is, I'm not even blaming Scouting for Girls because I reckon they probably like, this is probably like a demo that they've done, like where the guys or whoever's like on the piano, and then what they've done is whoever's like working for
their
company, they're like, we'll just put some occasional bells over this and like some strings, and we'll just call it
a money grab almost.
I just don't get why it's called Christmas edition. Like, if you'd called it like piano version, I'd been like, okay, fine.
Yeah,
like, that's cool.
It's the bells, mate. It's the bells.
But literally, I think like just the piano version. Like, if you had a soul piano version with the strings, I would be like, this is a cool little like Easter egg for all the hardcore Scouting for Girls fans. But yeah, just adding the bells and the Christmas stuff, it's very like a bit cringy.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it.
No, it's a shame that my favourite song has been given sort of a sellout version of it. But
it wasn't the Christmas version that's your favourite.
Well, no. Well, I preferred the original. Yeah. I would have liked, and if it was just a piano with strings, as I said, I would enjoy that as well. But no.
So next track, I'm Not About You. Again, bit of a nothing song for me.
I'm Not Over You.
I'm Not Over You. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm Not Over You.
Funny you confuse that with It's Not About You, because these are two songs that I just can't get to grips with. I just find them so boring and
boring. And then even when you look into the lyrics of this one, it's just a bit wet. To me, it's sort of, this is just proof that they're just, in this context, just not an album band at this point. Obviously, I haven't listened to any of their further stuff, but at that current context, that just proves to me that they're not an album band. Like this is just in saying that. We haven't delved that far into their discography, so if there's any,
that's what I'm saying. Like maybe on the next album, they come into their own commercially and not commercially because this is their most, but more as a what's the word. They've come into their own musically, perhaps, and just the songwriters. But what I was going to say
is if there's any hardcore Scouting for Girls fans out there, please get in touch at @Rock'nRadio_ on Twitter. We'd love to hear from you guys.
Yeah, like on a future episode, we can just do like a proper sort of interview.
Yeah,
sort of really shoot into the world of Scouting for Girls and their discography. Yeah, I would love to know that, because obviously you get people who are like hardcore fans of like certain bands. But we're just saying, like, there's got to be someone out there who's like that with Scouting for Girls, like has all like demos and all this stuff. Like, I would love to talk about it. But yeah,
I mean, we've got more than enough Scouting for Girls on the database. That's one of the reasons why we picked it. There's like a suspicious amount.
Yeah,
of
that was the phrase I loved that you used where we would like consider review you. Like, there's a suspicious amount.
Yeah. So So I'm not Over You. Just a bit of a nothing song again. I Need a Holiday.
Considering like we've gone from Elvis Ain't Dead, which is like the peak of the album,
but
then crashed back down to the bottom.
This is
I Need a Holiday sort of brings it back up again.
Do you think?
The reason why, and I was saying this to you earlier, I think Scouting for Girls, like the direction they went for on this album, just kind of annoyed me a bit, because a lot of it's just sort of rubbish, generic love songs. And I think stuff like this, I think if they'd gone in a direction of more light-hearted songs with sort of funny situations, or just I think this is sort of more sort of stuff they should be doing. Like, I Need a Holiday. It's a bit more light-hearted. Like, it's quite refreshing from sort of the more boring love songs.
I think it's too cheesy.
It's not a masterpiece. It's not. I don't think it's great, but at the same time, like, it's better than a lot of the other stuff on the album.
Yeah,
that's what I would say.
So then next track is The Mountains of Navajo.
Is it me, or does this sound like a song title for like a progressive rock band?
What do you think?
Like, I think it's because it reminds me of, like, there's a Led Zeppelin track called Battle of Evermore. I think it just reminds me of this a bit, because it just sounds like something like a prog it sounds like a song, title wise, that a progressive rock band would do.
I don't know. I think it kind of sounds like either a cowboy movie or like an episode of Game of Thrones.
Well, yeah, it sounds like a soundtrack song.
Yeah, okay.
But like, imagine like a rock band doing it for like a film or TV show.
Okay, I get that. But yeah, so song's about guy just doesn't really feel good enough for a girl that's just broken up with him.
Yeah, to me, I described this in my notes as blink and you missed it.
Do you think?
Like, it's one of those ones that I just sort of, I don't know.
I prefer this to Need a Holiday.
Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough. I just think it has a nice sound.
I would disagree. I think just for me, like, it just sort of like a couple of times that I was listening to it and like it just didn't catch my attention. I tuned out a couple of times, so it's just it was very like blink and you missed it.
And I think, as I was saying earlier, my favourite track was coming up, and the next track is my favourite track.
To be fair, top three.
I wish it was James Bond.
I
wish I was James Bond.
Yeah, top three for sure. Possibly second, actually.
And it was definitely my favourite back in the day. I remember 8-year-old me just singing those songs, and I think that's another thing when I was going through this album and like trying to review it, is I was trying to go back into the mindset of 8-year-old Ryan.
Yeah, I tried to, for what I can. Like, this is one of the songs where I'm like, I can imagine. Like, I kind of time traveled a bit in my head and was like, I can imagine. Like, I mean, I didn't hear this song at the time, which I'm surprised by. I feel like this is a song that, like I put in my notes, this is a song that I feel like should get more playtime, like just in general, because it's a good song to stick on. Like, I just think as a kid as well, like, you always want, like, just the thought of being James Bond is very appealing.
Yeah.
And even to me now, like, as a big James Bond fan, like, all the little references in the song are just quite nice. Yeah. Name dropping the actors who've played them. Like, as a fan of the James Bond like films, I just enjoy this for what it is.
Yeah.
But I can understand maybe some people just find it a bit bland. But I think it's a fun track. Like.
Yeah, it's fun. Like you said, it's not too serious, but it's got like still got a love like a theme running through it, but it is what it is, and that's what I like it for. But that is the end of the official album. There is a hidden track that some of you may have been lucky enough to hear, including myself, Michaela Strachan. Technically not part of the album, but we're just going to talk about it briefly.
Yeah. I'm very frustrated by this song. And do you know why? It's not because I hate it or whatever. This is the best song out of all the selection. It is, and it's so frustrating because this is the direction I think Scouting for Girls should have gone in. Because this is brilliant. Like, it's so like funny, this song.
Yeah.
There's so many like little innuendos and like subtle references. Like each time you listen to it, there's something new that you pick up.
Yeah, it's a class song.
Like, and as well, like, I looked up Michaela Strachan. And she was like she hosted like Spring and Autumn Watch.
Yeah.
Like, and she's just this like BBC presenter.
Yeah, because he says somewhere in there that he wanted to be a gardener or something.
Or a vet or whatever.
A vet, that was it.
Yeah, like this song, like this is the sort of stuff they should be doing. I don't know if they went on and did this sort of stuff, but like it's more lighthearted, like really like sort of wacky sort of subject matters. Like, I just love that this song is just it's just about like a BBC presenter that he fancied when he was a kid or whatever. And it's just so funny.
Going back into 8-year-old Ryan's head. I remember at the time, I had a crush on a Blue Peter presenter. I can't remember her name. Know what she looks like. But at the time, singing my heart out to Michaela Strachan while thinking of that Blue Peter presenter.
Yeah, so as I said, like, it's frustrating just because it should be on the album, and because there's so many rubbish songs on this album.
Yeah, you could.
Like, it's so upsetting that this is like a. Yeah, it is like probably my favourite Scouting for Girls song. Like, genuinely, I think it is. I think it's the best.
I still think I wish I was James Bond.
Yeah, it's like off the album. Like, obviously I'd say Elvis Ain't Dead. I wish I was James Bond. She's So Lovely. But yeah, Michaela Strachan's better than all of them. I think it's just there's so much to this song that that I like.
Okay, so we've run through the whole album. There's only one thing left. What is your rating of this album?
This is a tough one because it's like three songs that I like. I enjoy. A lot of songs that I really couldn't care less. I just really don't care about. And I think as well, my frustration is like the best song isn't even on the like normal album. It's so annoying, man. Yeah. It's like, especially for a band like Scouting for Girls. Like, I understand with other artists, like, you know, their output is so tremendous. Like, there's some songs that can't fit onto the album, but like, you could take out like most songs and like just have it anywhere on the album, and it would be so much better. I think that's why that's why I'm just so frustrated. As for a rating, I think, I'm stuck between, because I think I'm gonna sort of go in 0.5s as well.
Okay.
For our 10, so I'm not just gonna have like whole numbers. I'm gonna have 0.5s as well.
You have a 0.5.
I'm stuck between a 4.5 and a 5.
Okay.
I think it really would depend on it. I think at the minute, just because I'm so angry about Michaela Strachan being left off the album, I'm gonna go 4.5.
Okay.
Which I would say is like below. It's just sort of below average.
See, for
4.5.
me, I have that sentimental value. So when I'm reviewing this, I'm trying to take away that sentimental value, but I can't help but like just listen to some of these songs. Like even the bad ones, I sing along with them just because back in the day, I used to fall asleep to this album. I remember waiting for Michaela Strachan to play and stuff like that, but. Objectively, if you're looking at this album, like you said, there's 3 good songs on this album. I'd say then from the rest of them, from the 7 that's left, I'd say there's about 2 or 3 okay songs, and the other ones are just a bit naff.
Yeah, it's just to me like two of these songs I knew beforehand, so I had nostalgia for those, but it's just at the same time
so it makes it hard for me to make a decision because I want to give it a 6. But then when I'm looking at, for example, the Tom Petty album,
this is what I think in my head.
I was
thinking like I like even in my head I'm thinking like how like surely he's not going to put it above Full Moon Fever. Like it's just Full Moon Fever. Like I obviously like sort of I have a lot of nostalgia. Well, not nostalgia, but like love for that album.
No.
But, like,
I'm
at the same time, I feel
like
you can't like. Just
but the way I've had to think about this in my mind is Full Moon Fever. Every song on there is a good song.
Exactly.
And then you've got
I just think
Running Down a Dream, which is an incredible song. Whereas this album, you've got 3 like good songs, not an incredible song.
Exactly.
3 okay songs, and then a few like
for me, there's just there's just so many like rubbish throwaway ones. Yeah. That's why 4.5, I think.
Yeah. So like if the
tracks are more average, I'd maybe give it a 5. But
yeah, see, for me, it's a 5. For me, it's a 5.
Fair enough. I nearly did give it a 5, to be fair.
So Mark Murphy has given the self-titled album by Scouting for Girls a 4.5, and me, Ryan, has given it a 5. You're listening to Rebel Radio, and this is I Wish I Was James Bond.